Hassan, it's time to stop. So Hassan, as you know, is my favorite content creator of all time. I can't wait for his next merch to drop. I love buying Hassan shit. I love being the capitalist consumer that he claims to hate. You know, it's weird, right? You know, I'm a communist, but I do sell AI-generated shirts for my audience to buy with their hard-earned money. Yeah, oh my god, a VTuber? Listen, yeah, I don't know what this guy's deal is, but if he's anti-Hassan, we're on the same team. The enemy of my enemy is a friend.
So I'm sure most of you are familiar with the phrase, if life gives you lemons, make lemonade. Well, in this case, if Hassan Piker gives you slop, you make slopinade. And that's exactly what's going on here. This guy is a giga hypocrite, and once again, we're going to be looking at examples of him completely contradicting himself in the most shameless and embarrassing ways imaginable.
Okay.
And we're also going to look at his recent beef with
not hard to do.
XQC, where now he's even reaching for the race card to try to discard any valid criticisms.
Dude, him and XQC used to actually be friends, and that just shows you the common denominator is Hassan. You know how many friends this guy has had and then lost? That shows you he's the problem. Forget politics. If you get kicked out of 109 bars, I'm kidding, stop. If you get kicked out of 109 friendships, another joke. Listen, Hassan has had a lot of friends that he's lost over the years, and that's because of him. That's because he is a bad person, okay?
Being directed
He's the
his way
problem.
because of his constant support towards terrorist organizations and violent rhetoric. So let's begin the video off with some context here. So there is a race for mayor going on in New York City. Now you're probably wondering, Rev, why do we care? Well, it's relevant to Hassan Piker because this guy right here
Who the fuck is Curtis Sliwa? How is he doing so well? I've never heard of him.
who's leading the race, Zoran Mamdani, he is someone who has been collaborating with Hassan Piker, getting photo ops, including ones with very clear
that's crazy.
sponsorships.
That's
and
crazy.
Why would this matter? Why would this guy talk?
Dude, the mayor of New York dapping it up with the guy who said they deserved 9/11. That's just so nuts to me. Oh my god.
Talking with Hassan matter that much? Well, unfortunately, Hassan is the guy who said America deserves 9/11.
I feel like that's been brought up forever, and at a certain point, we know, like, okay, we get it, he said that. But, bro, you saying that and then dapping up the bro who's running for mayor, that's a big no-no.
Now, especially for viewers overseas, let me make this very clear. This guy is running for mayor of New York City, and he's dabbing it up and collaborating with a guy who said America deserved 9/11.
Yeah.
Yes, that happened in New York City, where thousands of residents were killed in those attacks. So that's a pretty embarrassing thing to say right from the jump. But on top of that, he has recently addressed some of those concerns. He's been carrying this sort of criticism about his comments about 9/11 for many years, but he feels a lot of pressure recently because of this collab, and he addresses everything, including...
Dude, he explains, every time he explains the clip, it's like, oh my god. He basically always says the following. He says, well, America did things that resulted in 9/11. So you understand that regardless, saying that the result is deserved is the problem, right? The deserved part is the issue. He basically tries to explain what he said in a way that removes the word deserved, because we're talking about innocent people whose lives were lost, who had no influence in America's foreign policy decisions, that he's saying deserve to die. And he hates the fact that he said that, so he has to try to change what he said or modify the version of events that took place when he said this to make it seem like he actually had a really insightful take about foreign policy and, yeah, you know, we did this and then this happened and then, yeah, 9/11. So, yeah, I don't know. I do think that regardless, I don't know if we ever did anything that directly warranted 9/11. That'd be my guess, but...
Also, his canceling of a trip to Cuba.
I did cancel the Cuba trip, yes, because I didn't want to go to prison. And unfortunately, what's the context behind you saying U.S. deserved 9/11? It's very simple. American foreign policy and intervention in the region directly caused blowback and led to 9/11.
Whoa, now hold on a minute. Are you telling me Hassan Piker won't risk jail time to uphold his own beliefs? That's crazy, because for years he's been criticizing other content.
So what, he would be arrested if he went to Cuba? I don't know if that's true, but okay. I mean, I don't blame him for not wanting to go to jail. Yeah.
Creators for not risking prison sentences to do what he considers the right thing. One example being Hila Klein. Hassan and his orbiters have criticized her for serving in the IDF, which is required by Israel. And they've said she should have gone to prison, refused service and gone to prison instead of serving in the IDF. But here he is, shying away from a certain trip that might land him in prison. Oh, the hypocrisy. I can't believe it. From Hassan? Really? But of course, he also addresses the 9/11 comments that he's been criticized for many years, and the answer is just as lame as ever. It sounds like iDubbbz when he was trying to defend Hassan, basically saying stuff that would be really deep if you were like a 13-year-old on Reddit. Like, no, dude, your comments were gross, and it's very disturbing that this guy who wants to be the mayor of New York City, and likely will be, is collaborating and dabbing up with you. And also, I find it very ironic, the very obvious paid promotion here. It's actually in
liquid death water. Yeah, you got to make sure the can's facing the camera. I don't understand why they would do this. Like, this only makes them both look bad, you know? This only just, it diminishes his credibility as a socialist, and it diminishes his credibility as someone who's not bought and paid for, you know? I feel like, why do this? There's no way the liquid death bag was that big. Now, I don't know anything about this guy, to be honest with you, so I can't comment on his politics, but I do know enough about this guy to say that the fucking liquid death promo is a little bit rich. What are they even eating here? That looks kind of good, though. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of want to try that. Is it like grilled cheese?
Saying he is the best socialist I've ever seen in my life. Make the rich pay, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, he's just getting paid by the rich. Them liquid death them liquid death checks hitting
by doing paid collabs with this guy. It's absolutely insane. Now, there's something else going on with the situation. It's been a bit of a build up here, and this is really the main crux of the hypocrisy. So, not that long ago, Hassan was criticizing his critics and saying they should not have an opinion unless they can bench 225 for at least a decent 6 or 7.
Okay, so listen, at this point, yeah, I'm not putting up 225 for 6 or 7. But I honestly do think he's onto something with this take. I generally, for the first time ever, want to give him a W, because there is something to be admired about, like, this aristocratic approach to it, you know, natural selection. If you're not strong, you can't have an opinion, okay? If you can't literally fight to death for your opinions, you don't get to have them, which I kind of like. It's stupid, but I kind of like it, because it encourages people to literally get big and strong and be willing to physically defend themselves for what they believe in, right? You know, I do like the idea of that. Unfortunately, all of his chat, I can imagine, and I've seen them, what they look like from the IRL streams he's done when he meets them, and I'm not going to take shots at individual people, but the chat, when you see them in human form, I don't think a single one of them could put up 225 for even one single rep, so that's going to be an issue for him. Now, at the same time, kind of a W take.
Reps.
It's honestly a W take for that reason. So he might get the right to vote, but none of his chat does. So I'd say that does more good than harm.
Foreign policing.
You should be required to submit a video of you doing the same weight to be able to foreign police somebody else.
Okay.
I feel like the internet would be a better place if you did that.
I think you should be required to do that just to speak online. And if you can't clear 225 at least for like a decent 6 or 7, you should not be allowed to have any opinions on whatever I have to say.
Whoa, wait a second. Hassan Piker saying that 99+% of women shouldn't have an opinion? Based?
That's kind of funny.
Yeah, that wasn't really his intention. But
like, that's kind of funny.
Of course, he wants to dunk on people over physical strength, because apparently that has something to do with the validity.
And again, here's the issue, right? I get what he's trying to say. Like, Asmongold isn't as strong as him. Probably most of his critics aren't as physically strong as him. But, dude, you're kind of a pussy for bringing this up about strength, and you're gonna body people, right? Because there's a underlying threat there that you could, if you wanted to, snap someone in half. But you're not gonna fucking fight Sam Hyde, really? Really? Oh, man, you are this cool, strong guy who can bench 225 for a decent 6. But what, you're gonna run from the Candyman? I don't know. Anytime I want to think he's even the slightest bit cool for something, I'm instantly reminded that he's a giant quivering pussy. And that's not good. Well, it is good because it's the truth, but not good for him.
Of your opinion online. But anyways, this whole thing is just laced in vanity. And he sets the standard that, well, if you can't bench 225 for 6 or 7 reps, your opinion just doesn't matter on the internet. Well, he's going to regret the irony of that, because Zohran Mamdani, the soon-to-be mayor of New York City, has been getting a lot of criticism.
Okay, this is insane. He couldn't even do a single 135 bench press. Now, I am probably in the worst shape I've been in like a year. I could easily do a 135 bench press. My PR, it's shit. It's 170, I think, 175. It's not good. I'm not here to brag about it, but dude, this guy's a grown-ass man. He can't do 135. That is fucking awful. Dude, that's like you have like a girlfriend and you're doing like the meme where you're benching your girlfriend. You can't even bench your fucking girlfriend. You failed. And you failed pretty bad at life. Okay, people who don't work out might not understand how like embarrassing this is. Like, this is really bad. 135. Dude, that's like nothing. That's nothing. There are like 13-year-olds who could do this.
Couple of days because of his failure at this outdoor lifting event where he couldn't bench a single rep at 135 pounds. That is one 45-pound plate on each side. And I'm not going to lie to you, I started lifting when I was like 12 or 13. I was doing that almost immediately.
That's what I'm saying! Even the fucking anime guy is doing this! Even the VTuber androgynous model can do this, bro! Holy shit, that's pathetic!
Not impressive. I was like some scrawny kid. Like, I think most kids my age at that time could do it as well. So the fact that this guy can't even do one
No,
rep,
this is really bad.
I don't know. He's going to get clowned on this a lot. Now, of course, what is Hassan going to do? He's calling other people irrelevant. Their opinions are irrelevant because they can't bench 225 for 6 or 7 reps. Now the guy he's simping over can't even do one rep at 135. What does he do now? Of course, he just continues on with blatant hypocrisy. And
making fun of someone trying to put up weight is a major no in gym circles. Oh my Saibao. Holy shit. No. Bro, again, this is so obvious. It's like no body shaming if you're on the left. You can't body shame leftists. You can body shame people on the right. Make fun of Charlie Kirk's head size. It is very small, to be fair. Make fun of Donald Trump for aging and being orange and whatever. But do not make fun of our lovely Zoran Mamdani when he tries to lift a weight. Jesus. It's like, holy fuck.
tries to shame people who would
Yeah, you guys, don't be mean to this guy.
dare to make fun of Zoran for not being able to bench 135 for a single rep. You can't make this up, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, first of all, I hate being an annoying ass form police here, but like, Eric Adams is a lifelong lifter, and he's obviously in great shape for his age. Having said that, as a lifelong lifter, he knows better. He knows better.
I can't even see the clip. I don't know what this...
One, making fun of someone for not being able to put up big weight is a big no-no. Okay?
Yeah, retard. That's what you do. Like, every time you've brought this up previously, you've made fun of them, so I don't understand. It's a big no-no, yet you do it. Seems like a common theme.
That's number one. Making fun of someone for not being able to put up big weight is a major no-no in gym circles, okay?
It is. He's right. Like, it is, but he does it, so I don't understand. I don't get it. Like, yeah, you should never be big no-no. You should not discourage someone because they can't do big weight yet. Obviously, it's progressive overload. Like, you will get there, but I think that's crazy. I think it's just insane.
Only the weakest, most insecure people do that. That's number one. Number two, the only time when you can do that...
So he's weak and insecure. Okay.
The only time when it's valid
agree.
is if someone is very clearly insecure about that and is behaving in like a way, like when they're doing it to other people. Like, it would be valid if I were to, for example, turn around and make fun of Eric Adams for demonstrating the worst form.
Hasan Piker is like the North Star of hypocrisy. Anything he says, any standard he sets, you know eventually, down the road, he's going to be hypocritical by that standard he's set for other people. So he wants to say, oh, you have no opinion unless you can bench 225 for at least 6 or 7 reps. And then he turns around and attacks people for making fun of Zoran for failing to bench 135 for a single rep. And he also goes on this tangent saying, hey, this isn't cool. You know, in this lifting sort of culture, you're not supposed to make fun of people. But then he turns around and criticizes the form of
6
Eric
or
Adams,
7.
saying his form isn't
Okay.
good, basically implying it doesn't really count, which is really, really odd. And also, again, blatant hypocrisy because he immediately goes on Twitter and mock
What's Donald Trump's bench press? Exactly. This is my point. Like, as long as it's targeted toward like Trump or Charlie Kirk, I literally mentioned all these people. That's actually kind of hilarious. It doesn't matter. Like, it's all fine and dandy as long as it's not against Zoran Mamdani.
Donald Trump and
Hassan is really bringing up the physical strength of a 70-year-old to try to defend a 33-year-old for being as weak as a 10-year-old.
what he would consider his ability to bench press, while quoting Charlie Kirk, who I'm pretty sure Hassan's going to be debating. That will be infinite content when that happens, if it does happen. But anyways, you can see the first reply, and it pretty much mops up the entire...
Dude, why does Charlie Kirk debate Hassan because he's a radical leftist, but not Nick Fuentes for being on the right? I don't get that. I truly don't understand. I don't get it. Dude, he's been trying to debate Charlie Kirk for literally over 5 years.
Conversation. This person says, Hassan is really trying to bring up the physical strength of a 79-year-old to defend a 33-year-old being as weak as a 10-year-old. Pretty much. Just went on a tangent saying don't make fun of people for their perceived strength and what they can bench and what they can't bench, and then he immediately responds by saying, what's Donald Trump's bench press?
Exactly.
This guy is brain broken, man. He can't go 2 seconds without being a massive hypocrite on pretty much everything
he fucking
touches.
sucks.
Now,
He's just the
we're
worst.
Gonna watch a quick
I actually fucking hate this guy. Like, I don't try to hate people who I cover because I feel like it's parasocial to have that kind of negative energy, but this guy is literally just, he's the scum of the fucking internet. He's filth. He's really just filth.
Clip from Asmongold. He brings up a very good point about this entire situation involving this soon-to-be mayor of New York City and why this can be so damaging. Please understand, especially if you're not from the United States or you don't understand what I'm going to talk about in just a second, this stuff is relevant. It may seem stupid.
I don't care that he rides the Trump hate train. That's not my issue with Hassan. There are plenty of people that ride the Trump hate train, and there are people who don't like Trump for a myriad of reasons, some of which I'm friends with. I'm friends with people who don't like Trump. I don't care if you don't like Trump. My friendship with you is not going to be hinged upon whether you like Trump or not. That's ridiculous. My opinion of someone is largely determined about their character, and Hassan's character is so rotten and terrible, and you can see it in almost every single instance when he opens his mouth. It is so bad, and I don't get not only how he has fans, but how he has respect. It's different. They're different things. You can have fans of someone, you can have viewers, but they don't respect you. Dude, Hassan is just filth, man. It is so fucked to see the constant hypocrisy, the slander, the misinformation, the hatred. Like, and I'm not talking like hatred, like, you know, you're being edgy and that's what you call hatred. I'm talking the literal hatred that this guy spews. It is crazy to me. I find it to be fucking repugnant. I really do. I think that what he stands for and what he spreads to the world is bad, you know? No better scenario encapsulates this when he's at the protest riot in LA for the ICE raids, and then he is met by his fans who are all in riot gear and who some of them are fucking standing next to burning Waymos, causing property damage and destruction, inciting violence, and you have to look at yourself and that's who you know, that's the kind of people that you've created. It's insane. I don't know. I really hate this guy. I think he's scum. I think he is disgusting.
But you can't deny it might actually change some opinions.
The way this Zoran Mandami had a really, really bad time. So it wasn't because of his policy. It wasn't because of anything else. It was because he couldn't do a bench press. That's right, guys. He couldn't bench press 135 pounds. You know what's really funny about this? I think this is really going to damage his reputation. I think it will. This will legitimately damage people's perception of him.
Oh, but Rev, that's so stupid. Why would someone care about something like this? Why would someone care if he can't bench 135? What does that have to do with his ability to lead a city? Well, of course, people make jokes about it nonstop. They'll call him weak. They'll say, how can this man carry a city?
I think the issue is that when people, even as a joke, or they'll bring it up in jest that he can't bench 135, they may just say that as like a passive ad hominem, but at a certain point, when people spam it for days and weeks and months, it will just subconsciously negatively affect people's image of him. And you can't do anything about that. You can't do anything about that when, even as a joke, if people are just to rage bait, they're like, oh, bro, your candidate can't even bench 135. It's like, at a certain point, there will be a negative perception that people have because of that, right? That's how it works.
When he can't even press 135, you know what I mean? That's American politics, unfortunately. And
Yeah.
we've seen very small acts of cringe or weakness.
Exactly.
completely derail-
Yes. This is actually a great point. I didn't know that this anime kid would be this good at making arguments, but you know, the more you know. I think I'm subscribed to him, to be honest. I may have seen a few videos of his. Yeah, I am. Good video though. But listen, like, the point that he's making is so true. Like, the smallest thing that becomes a meme that is negative against you, that can do it. You know, that will actually damage your rep.
Someone's political career. I don't know if all of you are old enough to remember, especially the Americans here. In 2004, the governor, I believe, of Vermont, Howard Dean, was making a presidential bid. And in one moment, his entire career collapsed. His presidential bid,
What did he say?
down the tubes. His
I don't know about
career
this.
Down the tubes. Just because of this. Just a few seconds.
And then we're going to Washington, D.C. to take back the White House. Ah!
That's it. His career's over. That little that was
That's it?
Done. He got completely made fun of to the point of irrelevancy. It's actually insane
Jesus.
how quickly that simple screech
Jesus.
derailed his
Oh,
entire
man.
presidential bid and his
Yeah, I never heard of
political
him.
career as
Wow.
well. It's actually insane. If you think it's crazy and far off, I'm telling you, stuff like this can really make a difference. But anyways, I also hinted at a beef with XQC between him and Hassan, and recently XQC won Streamer of the Decade, and man,
Deserved. I think he deserves
saltiness
it.
over that is pretty crazy. A lot of
Yeah, I mean, listen, I've been an XQC viewer off and on for the past 7 or 8 years, and all I know is that in middle school, when he was a rising streamer, he really did get me through some long bus rides. So I think he's totally deserved it. You know, I mean, he's been so consistent. He has changed the game for everybody. I don't know. I think he deserves it 100%.
people are really
He hasn't even he's not fallen off once.
upset about that. I don't really care for
Not fallen off once in 9 years or 8 years. That's unheard of. Only up.
XQC, but just seeing people like seething over it's pretty funny. Like this mumbling guy here just completely made an entire generation of streamers get very, very angry because he got this award. But Hassan
I don't think he's a mumbler,
has
but
been really brewing up a fight with XQC. Apparently these two used to be friends, but now
that's true.
Hassan believes that XQC's gone to the dark side, that he's, you know, incorporating a monkey.
Yeah, Run. He so deserves it. Like, it's crazy. I used to watch him back in the Overwatch days. Like, we're talking Overwatch 1, Overwatch League days. You know, I met him back in 2000, I think, 18, because there's this event called BlizzCon. I don't think it exists anymore, but there's an event called BlizzCon, and in that event, there's this thing, it used to exist, called the Overwatch World Cup, where different countries would have their best Overwatch players, you know, have the chance to perform and to battle on the stage and stuff. And I met him there, and he was nice. And I've been a fan of him forever. I think he deserves it, bro.
Monkey see, monkey do mentality with Asmongold, because of course this always goes back to Asmongold, where basically he's saying that he watched the right-wing commentary of Asmongold, which again, I don't really know what kind of right-wing commentary from Asmongold he's referring to, but apparently that inspired XQC to copy the same rhetoric.
It even goes, I mean, the same thing is happening with right-wing commentary in general. Okay? That's what it is. Monkey see, monkey do. Other content creators see people like Asmongold popping off, fucking making like Nick Fuentes jokes or pointing to like anti-Semitic memes and shit. Maybe they don't see all of it, but they see most of the stuff that he's saying about like trans people, undocumented migrants. And then they go, well, this guy's popping saying this shit. I'm going to do it too. Greatest example of this is XQC. XQC has no fucking worldview. He doesn't give a fuck about anything. But he saw how much Asmongold was gaining prominence by doing that.
I actually agree with that. I think XQC doesn't give a fuck about anything. He just wants to play games and entertain people, which is totally fine. Do not let he's trying to say that as a negative thing. It's not. Absolutely not.
So he tried to do it as well. And then his audience fucking yelled at him every
Rip
goddamn
Mixer?
day.
Bro. Mixer.
and then he had to basically back away from it a little bit. He still tries it to his best ability, but that's it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Hassan is a man of many hats. Not only
Yeah, like never let someone pressure you into picking a side or believing something that you don't believe. I think that's just straight up stupid. You know, some people, they just want to make music or make video games or stream, make art or be passionate about exercise or rock climbing or hiking. Like yeah, politics and political brain rot has infected a lot of shit, and I think it needs to be made the norm where you can just do the thing that you want to do without the expectation of political undertones. I think that's really bad for most hobbies.
only is he a political superstar, he's also a mind reader. He can see inside the minds of people like XQC, and he knows exactly their intent. So when he's talking about a political subject or talking about any subject, he's clearly doing it because he's influenced by Asmongold. Because of course, everything comes back to Asmongold in the mind of Hassan Piker. But of course, this is a bunch of
My bad, Anime VTuber. I was not familiar with your game.
baloney.
This is good.
He's just making up stuff, trying to cope and trying to reconcile with the fact that what he believes are ridiculous beliefs and commentary are much more relevant than he would like them to be. But there's one more clip I want to watch here.
Oh boy. Yeah, Hassan calls XQC racist after he said that Hassan promotes terrorism. Oh boy.
Hassan is pulled
Yeah, because you'd be friends with this guy so long if you thought he was racist. That makes perfect sense.
out the race card once again in his attempt
Jesus.
to call XQC racist. Now, recently we saw a clip of Hassan trying to play both sides. He says on the one hand, he's white presenting, but on the other hand, said he's brown. So he's trying to play both teams here, using whatever one's more convenient at the time. But in this case, he's trying to take criticism from XQC, who says he promotes terrorism, as simple racism. That XQC only came to this conclusion because he hates people like Hassan.
Don't promote gambling! Promote terrorism! Yes! Guys, don't gamble! Instead, be a terrorist!
Holy shit.
Be a terrorist. I like that. I like that he went. This is incredible. This is incredible political commentary. I'm glad that he's still doing that. I got destroyed in the marketplace of ideas. I can't really do nothing about that. Hassan intellectually destroyed in the marketplace of ideas. Yeah, Chatter was right. XUC was right about me. There's nothing I can do about that. It's weird how y'all were friends.
Bro, this fucking guy has nothing to say. Like, it's crazy how he finds a way to just say, XQC is right. Yeah, guys, you're all right. Like, all he can do is cope and be sarcastic and self-deprecating rather than have any sort of enthusiasm in the response at all. He's just completely, bro, I swear to God, I put on a better show for like 24 to 30 people almost every single day than this guy does in front of 70,000 people. He has no energy, he has no soul, he has no anything. I don't know how people sit down and watch this fucking garbage. Oh my God. He needs to hop on Adderall or whatever these big streamers are on, because maybe it'll perk him up a little bit, make him a little funnier, a little more entertaining. You know, XQC, I don't think, is he on Adderall? Who knows? But he's fun, okay? I prefer fun. I want fun. Streaming is supposed to be fun. Watching streams is supposed to be fun. How do people watch this garbage? This has nothing. It's literally like it's fucking oxygen flavored yogurt. It's gross. 1 HP voice is, yeah, dude, it's grating. How do you listen? Yeah, XQC is trying to cancel me. He sounds like almost like RFK almost, but it's like worse because it's not because of a, brain disease or something.
The ones, yeah. It's cool because like he basically went from he went from why are you calling me out for promoting gambling? I'm also racist as fuck.
Dude, listen, Hassan, I believe, also tried to get a kick deal at one point, so I don't know what he's going to talk about promoting gambling for. Jesus, bro.
Everyone who criticizes me
Promoting
is racist.
gambling.
No, dude, I think a lot of people make very valid criticisms.
Yeah, I do feel like at the end of the day, Hassan having people that are fans of him behind burning fucking Waymos and stuff like that at a riot might do worse for society than spinning Wanted Dead or Wild on Stake.com. Just a wild guess.
Of a guy who seems to glorify terrorist groups every other day. Like, there's a track record that's pretty much infinite at this point, where this guy has, in one way or another, supported or glorified multiple terrorist organizations. I mean, that's why people are criticizing you. At the end of the day, again, as I've stated before, looking at today's video.
Also, like, let's look at this objectively. This is, again, a two wrongs don't make a right sort of thing. You know, like, promoting gambling, obviously, like, listen, you're promoting something that, in the long run, will hurt people, you know? I mean, it could be fun, you know, obviously. Listen, if there was a way to promote gambling where you can make it that everybody is, you know, happy, then you would. But obviously gambling, there's risk. You're risking something, right? But again, the idea that it's like, oh, he does this, you know, oh, you did this and you did this. It's like, okay, well, how about, like, I mean, the logical answer is that you're both wrong, right? Obviously promoting terrorism is worse, but he can't just be like, he doesn't have to say, I noticed in his response when XQC is like, yo, you're a terrorist, he's like, well, you're a gambler. It's like, it doesn't even respond to what he's saying, you know? And obviously I gamble on stream sometimes, but it's like, at the end of the day, if I were to call someone out for doing something bad and they responded by bringing that up, I feel like they instantly lose, you know? Looking
at pretty much every video about Hassan, it's never really about political policies. We're not saying, oh, this policy he supports, that's dumb. No, he says something ridiculous where he's either just being a blatant hypocrite, or he says something that common sense will dictate is something insane and something nobody should support. And that's another example of that happening right here. When you say this radicalized stuff, when you say things that a normal person would side-eye you for, of course people are not going to like you and not support you. That's not because of racism. It has nothing to do with race. But of course, he'll go the next level and say, I don't really understand why anyone like XQC would think I promote or support terrorism.
Not to mention, terrorism support and gambling aren't morally comparable. Yeah, I mean, I think walking into a casino versus walking into a, like, Taliban meet is probably different. I think the casino's probably not that bad compared to the Taliban meet.
I know that a lot of people in these spaces just don't want to think too much or think too hard about, you know, politics in general. And they want, like, a comfortable narrative, so they go, oh.
Dude, that's what your chat does. Why do you think they're watching you? Because you're the one who gives them the slop political takes. Like, what does he think his own career is?
Oh, dude, you promote terrorism. Like,
so he's gonna complain that people believe that he promotes terrorism because it's like an easy to digest narrative, when his entire stream is basically just feeding the same sort of easily digestible takes to his audience. You know, like, I mean, he's a smart enough person to understand that dumbing it down brings more people. Lowest common denominator type shit. 100%. Jesus.
Like, that's, you know, kind of a ridiculous thing to say about a dude. Kind of a ridiculous thing to say about a dude who's just, like, consistently been advocating to not murder children.
This is it. This is what I'm saying. This is it. This is like the exact thing I was saying. The easy to digest political views. Oh, just don't murder children, bro. Just don't do that, bro. Like, listen, obviously, Israel-Palestine situation, I would agree that murdering children is fucking bad, right? But I wouldn't sit here and say that if my stream was 9 hours of saying don't kill children, I was some sort of enlightened thinker. I'd be like, yeah, I'm preaching to the choir about something that is easy to digest and morally not gray.
In Gaza, or just not murder children anywhere, really.
See?
The man with the least amount of self-awareness. It's actually insane. I don't know if he's just trolling at this point. It is pretty frustrating seeing a guy with such a big audience who has no self-awareness and seemingly will do whatever he wants and will be gobbled up by his audience. I mean, this guy literally has to be trolling at this point. Why would anyone think you support terrorist organizations or terrorism? I don't know, dude. You said you have no issue with Hezbollah, a designated foreign terrorist organization. You've praised Yemen Houthi terrorists for seizing civilian ships. You've platformed terrorists. In fact, if you want to talk about going out there and trying to protect kids from these attacks, why didn't you ask your favorite Yemeni Houthi about why they constantly enslave children and murder hundreds, if not thousands of children? This is in official reports. Why didn't you grill the guy over that? Oh no, instead, I'm sorry. You asked him about One Piece and we're glazing over him because he watches anime.
Yeah, anyway, I think I get the gist of this video. I completely agree. Based anime guy.